Shri S.B. Majumdar sir, eminent scientist, and whose views are absolutely transforming the esteemed Dr. Raghunath Mashelkarji, Dr. Anhol, Professor Dr. Rajni Gupte, Dr. Pankaj Mittal, Dr. Vidya Yervadekar, all the university leaders from across the globe, and my sisters and brothers from all parts of the world. It is indeed a great moment for me to be part of this valedictory function of Unit 20 with a theme, Future of Universities. Just look at my position. Amongst all doctors, I was the only patient. Patient in a sense, I was waiting for my turn to speak. But patience always pays. And that is why I could hear the views of Dr. Mashelkar, which are really enlightening. And I'm at loss of words. With such eminent people on the dais, with global university leaders amongst the audience, I do not know how to and what to speak about the future of universities. But let me tell you, I represent a fraternity which can tell Sachin Tendulkar how to play cricket, or Messi how to score a goal, or Rafa Nadal how he should use his forehand. So I think if you ask me, describe the future of universities in one word, I would say Symbiosis International University. That is the future of university. And I think when we talk about education, the Indian ethos have always been about holistic development of a person. It was never about an informed individual. It was about a knowledgeable individual, a person who possesses knowledge. And I would like to quote Swami Vivekananda, who said, education is not the amount of information that is put into your brain and runs right there, undigested all your life. We must have life-building, man-making, character-making, assimilation of ideas. And I think this is what is perfectly and precisely we need to do through our education system. And yes, there are so many challenges in a country like India, where today we are expanding the education, making it reach to all. And our challenge today is, our gross enrollment ratio is around 23-24%, and by 2035 we want to make it 50%. So this is pole vaulting, sir, which we would be trying to do. And I'm sure even today, with around 38 million students in 50,000 academic institutions, which include around 1057 universities, India is world's second largest higher education system. And I think just second to China, but every fourth graduate student globally is an Indian, and I think we take pride today because when we started after our independence, in the first election, when people started voting, actually the amount of people who were educated or just used to know how to write and read was 18%. And from there, in last 75 years, we have reached now at a stage where we are the largest education system in the world. And now around 23 Indian universities are amongst first 200 universities of world. Hopefully soon these 23 will be also amongst first 100 universities of world. The way we are progressing and the way we are focusing on quality of education, I think that would really transform the entire education space. Of late, India is also amongst top 10 countries who are actually investing in innovation. There used to be always a talk that India is a country which actually doesn't invest in innovation, but that is not a case now. As rightly said by Dr. Mashelkar, the IT, the Indian talent, is now leapfrogging or pole vaulting in the space or arena of innovation as well. And now with the new education policy, I think this new education policy of 2020 is something which is making Indian education future ready. I think it has opened doors for all the best practices. It has opened doors for the world to come to partner, and it has also given opportunity to the Indian universities to partner with the global universities to provide best of the education to the students, and also to create global citizens with values, ethos. And I think when we talk of university education, of course, it has to be value-based. As rightly said earlier, it has to be value-based, because without value, the education is of no use. I think G20 or Uni 20 is also an excellent platform where a lot of collaborations can happen. When all the global university leaders are here and when they interact, I think with this interaction, a lot of best practices are exchanged and new ideas would come which can be carried to their respected universities. So I think this event will be a transformative event in the history of G20 countries, especially the G20 universities. In India, while focusing on the higher education, there were three pillars: expansion, inclusion, and excellence. It was for access, equity, employability, and quality. And I think right now, the inclusiveness of Indian education system is very good. We have devised many ways to include all the vulnerables or all those who aspire to take university education. And I think this inclusion is something which is bridging a divide in the society. But I think now is a time where we focus more on excellence. We focus more on employability. Because we all know that in 20th century, the biggest challenge was exploitation. People were exploited. There was a fight against exploitation. But the biggest challenge in 21st century is to stay relevant. The times are changing with such pace that what was good yesterday is obsolete today. And that is the biggest challenge before our education system to stay relevant. The disruptive technologies are changing the world in one single day. And today, the mantra is learn, unlearn, and relearn. Unless we adopt this mantra, we won't be able to cope up with this change. I think in India, our last education policy was drafted in 1983. And it was good enough for 30 years. Then we started feeling that we need to change it. But today, every 5 years, things are changing in such a way that they are making all the things which we used to study obsolete. There will be a different situation in 2025, another situation in 2030, and absolute different situation in 2035. So I think the biggest challenge before our universities is to be future ready. And when we talk about future ready, the technology is changing lives of people, and technology is a force multiplier, technology is a leveler, technology is something which actually doesn't recognize whether you are man or woman, whether you belong to a caste, color or creed or to any religion. It serves everybody. But that technology has posed a lot of challenges. And I think the solution to those challenges will also come from technology. As rightly said by Dr. Mashelkar, that if the entire thesis is created on ChatGPT, what to do? But again, a few days back, I was going through an article where it was about one startup, and they have come out with a solution where their engine can actually point out whether any answer, any thesis is out of plagiarism, whether it is taken from somewhere, whether it is a borrowed thought. So I think technology is changing both ways. Now is a time where we need to use that technology to make our lives better. And I think when we talk of Indian aspiration of going from 23% to 50% GER in 12 years, How are we going to do that? It is only technology which will enable us to do that. Because in the COVID, we have experienced that even online education can serve those who have never imagined that they will ever be able to do things online. The minds are changing. The new generation is born and brought up with technology. And I think today, when we see a lot of platforms who are giving online education, there are startups where 24/7 a teacher is available and you don't have to ask Google or ChatGPT. You can in person interact with the teacher when you are registered, and the teacher 24/7 replies you and gives you, reply to your query. Then I think this is something which is changing the way education used to be. But having said that, people feel that would universities be required? Would everything become online? I think that's not the case. Because ultimately we are social animals. We require people with us. We require friends.